Welcome back to the fourth quarter of the Bobby Dupre Show, along with my sidekick, Andrew.
Good morning.
We've got to rush it like we do every week. We say the same thing. We have so much more good things to talk about. I haven't talked about any of my obituaries, but you're going to get our two sponsors. Then
I can do that.
We'll feel relaxed.
Slimco, right? If you want a scholarship, they're giving 20 scholarships, each for $2,000. If you're a Slimco customer or the child of a Slimco customer, under the age of 24, you can get your scholarship. You got to get your application in by May the 2nd, 2013. You can get that application going to slimco.com. You got to have at least a 2.0 average. I want you to be a C average student, either in college or in high school. Either way you can apply. And you can give them a call if you don't go to slimco.com to get the form. You can call them at 896-2520 to do it. And then they give out the scholarships at the huge party at the Cajun Dome on June 1st.
That's what the customers look forward to.
The party's the fun part.
The party, they start at 6 o'clock and they open the gates with music to start. Now, you know that's a Cajun company.
Bright and early, boudin, cracklings, and get with it.
Until they went into some cities, they were basically a rural.
Country.
That's what they were set up under the Rural Electrification Commission.
Back before everybody had electricity. That's before my time.
We didn't have any at my house.
My house had it.
Well, yeah, but you were born in town. You were born in Palmetto. You were uptown.
That house still has that little plaque on it that says the first all-electric house in St. Landry Parish. How's that for a stat? I mean, that floors me that out in the middle of the country, but I guess everybody else had natural gas in their home or whatever, propane.
And I'm talking about not having any electricity in my home. I bet this gentleman right here, I'm getting ready to talk about Mr. Adolphe Jobert, who passed away recently. His family wrote, that's Mr. Adolphe Jobert Jr. He looks, I briefly mentioned that he had died, but they wrote up a beautiful thank you to all the community and their friends and all of their close friends and relatives from the Plaisance community. It says, this kind of touched me right here. As a devout believer in the religious, educational, and civic being of mankind, he was a tireless servant and pillar of the Plaisance community.
There you go.
And I knew Mr. Jobert, was in his company a few times, but we have some good, solid people. Black and whites always got along well together in our area. Yes, I remember Mom and Daddy, when we had a boucherie, the blacks would come, and when they had one, we'd go there. You know, I don't know, it was, and it's still like that as I understand today, and that's the way it should be.
You're right.
And music and market. Now, if you want to see some blacks and whites getting together and dancing.
And Spanish now. We've got our Hispanic community that's growing here, because sometimes they even have that kind of music as well. Right.
Melanie LaBeouf dropped these off here at the station.
April 19th is the next one.
It's going to be the first one. And it's going to go right on through May the 24th.
It's going to be Joe Hall and the Louisiana King Cutters. Not this Friday, but next. And they're going to play Creole and Zydeco.
We'll remind you about this next week. And then on the 20th, let's not forget, next door here at Toby's Sports Bar, they're going to have a huge car show. Should really bring back car shows into the Opelousas area. We've kind of been laxed the last few years, but Wayne and Todd and company and friends.
The whole Doucette clan can hook up a bunch of those old antique restored cars. They'll bring a bunch out.
And then they're going to have some later model cars.
The dealers will be here as well.
The dealers are going to come in with some of their specially hopped up cars. You know, each one of them is coming up with a hot engine, because there's still that drive out there. A certain group of people are willing to pay a little extra money and not worry about the price of gas at the pump. By the way, price of gas is going down real nice. I saw down at Tobacco Plus, downtown Opelousas, maybe 23 today.
Should see $3 gas is what they're saying at this point of this trend, if it holds up.
And that's good, because a person making the salary is the same, and it's a whole lot better when he can give the certain amount for the gas and then have some more change to go and spread out into the community and buy their groceries and pay their bills and go down to OPAC and pay on their OPAC bill. By the way, OPAC's got a lot of fresh money to lend you. So David and company are looking forward to having you when you need some quick money, confidential, and that's important, confidential.
Nobody else needs to know you're back in business.
That's correct. Not even your wife or your husband doesn't need to know what the wife is borrowing. Well, I mean, that's how they all have their own job. They all have their own Visa card.
Make your own money
and their own credit lines.
You got it. How about another sponsor, Targill here in Opelousas. You're looking for some hot pepper, hot cayenne pepper. Targill got it. They got seasoning, they got butcher supplies, cutlery, they got kitchen supplies as well. Go by there. They can help you if you're a store, if you're a caterer, if you're just a guy with an outdoor kitchen that likes to do a lot of cooking. They've got all that for you. Cake fillings and pie fillings there as well. Any kind of supplies if you want to get your sausage making machine, if you want to get you some chopping blocks or some knives, go by Targill. They can help you right there on Wartell Avenue.
And one more obituary, well, we've got several, but one more is Mr. Isaac Navarre Sr. from the Scott area, and I didn't know Mr. Isaac, age 92, who died and has been buried. But reading, I read these obituaries, and invariably I'm going to find somebody that I know. In this case, I know this couple pretty. One of his daughters, one of his 4 daughters is Linda Duhan and her husband Aaron. And of course, I know them pretty well because I met them and I see them when I go over to Linda and Bobby Duhan, you know, my former partner at Benton Specialties. When we go over to Bobby and Linda's lovely country home and horse farm, I might add. You've never come with me over that. It's really, well, you always have something. You're going to church on at
on
night.
Sunday.
Anyhow, I'm picking. But he's very heavily involved, and that's pretty hard to beat, trying to help the Lord and help himself at the same time. But anyhow, Aaron and Linda Duhan are very, very nice people. My sympathies to their family. And another person who died who had left Eunice years ago, but I'm sure he still has relatives and friends that would remember him. And I'm speaking to Dr. Wilford Joseph, better known as T. Fontenot. Dr. Fontenot, who after completing Loyola Dental School, he then went over into business in the Baton Rouge area and was well known there, and graduated from Eunice High School. I might pass that by you. And possibly he first got his first degree from Southwestern Louisiana, SLI.
There you go.
And that's where yours truly got his little first degree.
There you go.
And only degree.
First so far.
Well, I'm still planning on getting that master's degree, like Bruce Jennings would call it, a master's degree. And anyhow, I don't see young doctors going to UL now to get that pre-med. Do they?
I'm sure they still have it. I would think so.
I would imagine they could. Just haven't seen
chemistry
any,
and
you know, like Butch Lazaro, my dear friend who passed away recently. That's where he got his first degree.
You and I are just getting to that point where we don't know a whole lot of them young people going to school anymore. We're starting to see them.
No, wait a while. But I got to talk about 2 things right here that I promised. A medical benefit for D. Darby. I know D. Darby. His daughter, of course, is Lindsay Fakuri. Noah Fakuri's wife and the 2 kids, Rika and Aiden, know them real well. And D. Darby is a person who has helped everybody along the way. And while he was helping his son-in-law do some work on their new home, they had just bought new property. They were doing some work. He had a stroke.
Wow.
And put him down pretty bad, but he's coming up real good. In fact, he's back on his job. He's been okay to go back to work. They're going to have on Sunday, April the 14th, that's this Sunday, over at the hall. And people in the Lafayette, Acadiana area know that's on Gloria Switch Road. That would be east of I-49 in Carencro there. They're going to have live entertainment, and of course, he and K-Bone. When you say D. Darby, you say in K-Bone. When you say K-Bone, he's very close to Paul Marks and all the people there, and he makes the tours. What it cruises. He's been on a cruise, and anyhow, just a fine fella, and I'm sorry to hear this, but this was given to me by Noah, by the way.
And we're going to have some good bands, Cheryl Cormier, Don Fontenot, and Horace Strawhorn, and Dustin Ray, and the whole crew.
And jambalaya dinner, beer, drinks, fun jumps for the kids, auctions, raffles, it's not wrestling, raffles. We hope there's no wrestling going on. And all the proceeds are going to go to help defray his medical expenses. And
if you want to help, go by your local Mid-South and tell them you want to help D. Darby, and they've got
an account there open there. So anyhow, that's this Sunday, and I need to go by and give them. And then the third annual Rice and Gravy Cook-Off, and that's right there in Port Barre at the red light. They call that the Behind the Fence Bar now, and that's the big mobile station right next to the highway is a nice bar, and then on the back end of the bar outside is what they call Behind the Fence.
Like we used to call that Homer's old place.
That was Homer Bogue's place, right. And this is for the benefits here. The proceeds will go to Mia Basco. And of course, that's Warren Basco's daughter. Everybody knows Biscuit. Everybody knows Biscuit. And Biscuit has been an auctioneer for
always helping with the Lions Club and all that.
So now it's our turn. I'm speaking to you. It's now our turn to go out and help Biscuit. In fact, I left a check. I already gave a check.
Sunday, April 20th, 9 a.m. until right there. And they're going to have Catabla's going to play, Dustin Ray, Kevin Nakan, and DJ Express will all be there.
Next Saturday. Next Saturday. Big, that's the same day here, but that's good. People are going to be moving around, and they can go help Biscuit and Mia by going over there and making your contribution.
This isn't coming up till June, but I want to remind people that CASA, the group that helps children that are victims of abuse and neglect and abandonment, they're going to have their annual brunch on June the 13th. The tickets are going to be $25 a piece, but what they're looking for are some corporate sponsors. If you can help CASA with, sponsor a table or help defray some of the expenses, give them a call at, I got a phone number, 948-3550.
One of another obituary here is Mr. Carroll Mesh. He was a barber for many, many years in Karen Crow. Well, not Karen Crow, actually, he was on Mall Street in Lafayette.
Right. He's from Karen Crow.
Yeah, he was a member of 3 Mile Lake, a beautiful man, 62 years young. Cancer got him, and I hated to see this in the paper. I had heard that Carroll was having some serious cancer situations, and he didn't make it. But our prayers will be with you, and to the family, our deepest sympathies. And if I can help you, Ms. Mesh, just please let me know.
There you go.
Talking about obituaries, Visiting Graves was Saturday's article, and very interesting. Visiting Graves, Robert, better known as Bob Tatman, and his wife Rose used to, on Sunday afternoons, they'd ride around all over Louisiana and go to graves and look at it. There's a lot of history in graves, and if I don't, I'm gonna make history of not having the ending to the Bobby Dupre Show. Thanks for viewing. Thanks for listening. Thank you, Andrew, for your help. And we close with 2 thoughts. This weekend, please consider attending the church of your choice. And our little thought for today is, Eternal Father, grant me a child's spirit so that you can love me as your child. Thanks for viewing. Thanks for listening. And thank you again, Andrew.
Thank you.